Hi guys, so today I'm with Laura and James, who wrote the next together, and we're going to be filming the book Heart Tag, which was created by Sana from Books and Quills and Jean from Bookish Thoughts. So the first question is, who is your favourite literary couple?
Okay, so I really like Sabriel by Garth Nix, or Sabriel, I don't know how you pronounce it. I read that book so many times when I was a teenager, and the main couples, Sabriel and Touchstone, are just so sweet and romantic, and yeah, they were a big inspiration for my couple, Catherine and Matthew, because she's very bossy and she's definitely in charge.
I think for me it's Kath and Levi from Fangirl by Rinda
Yes,
Rowell.
that was going to be
I
one
love
of my
that
choices.
book so much. I just never stop talking about it and never stop recommending it. I'm just, yeah. Like, Levi is my perfect guy, I think. Question 2 is, who's your top 3 fictional boyfriends / girlfriends?
My first one would be Artemis Fowl, because I think he was probably my first crush on anyone ever. I read the books when I was like 12 and I was very into him. He's like a evil genius who's always going off and stealing fairy gold, and yeah, he's very sassy, and so he was like my first literary boyfriend. And then Prince Char from Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine, who was just like such a gentleman, and he's so obsessed with Ella Enchanted, and it's not in the film. I'm not into him as much in the film because it's not a very good film, but yeah, I could definitely go for Prince Char from the book. And my third choice would be Richard Campbell Gansey III from the Raven Boys series by Maggie Stiefvater, because he's just
I definitely agree with that choice.
Let's just take a moment to think about Gansey. He's the perfect boy.
I think for me, I'm going to go quite literary and say Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice, because I recently read it and I just think it's quite an obvious choice.
Yes.
And I also love this book series called Stonewall by Kit Berry. They're kind of my version of Harry Potter, so I grew up reading them, and there's a main character in there called Yule, who is like my literary husband. I just... Yes.
That's upgraded
everybody,
from boyfriend.
yeah, everyone needs to back off.
Levi?
Yeah, Levi, yeah, I think you just read my mind. I'm not going to repeat myself too much when it comes to Levi,
no,
but
I think he
a definite
full
choice.
video.
Yeah, I might just
Levi.
do that. I probably could talk for an hour about Levi. Question 3 is, what's a romantic trope you wish people would stop using?
Okay, so when girls, they pretend they're like really insecure and they think they're really ugly, and then they've got lots of guys going after them, and I really just like that, because like girls should just own their own attractiveness, like be self-confident. And
yeah, I kind of wish that self-confidence was more of a written
kind
about
of like
thing.
a bad thing if a girl's like really confident.
And I definitely think that books can often feel quite empowering, and reading about it is just so much better. It just makes it more known. I think for me it would be the guy that's really good looking and goes for the girl who sees herself as ugly, because I kind of wish that there were more average characters in YA especially.
Because they're either like the popular blonde girl or the ugly girl.
Yeah,
and most girls will not see themselves as either of those things.
And especially in fantasy and dystopian, it's always the swoon-worthy guy, and I just think it's not very realistic.
Yeah. And more average guys as well. Like, not every guy has to be really handsome.
Yeah. Also, the boy next door. I definitely think that's a romantic trope, because I've never looked at the boy that lives next door to me.
They're always like 6 to start with.
So that's a definite trope that I think should be banished. Question 4 is, which literary couple are terrible for each other?
This is a very literary one. It's not YA, which most of my answers have been. Cathy and Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights. They are the worst, like... they should just never talk to each other ever again. They just cause so much trouble in each other's lives, and they're like, I love you so much, I'm gonna tear myself apart. Like, just go away from each other. Find some normal person.
I'm gonna go slightly more literal and go with something that follows on from your previous answer and say Blue and Gansey from the Raven Boys. But it
maybe
I want it to work.
Date me.
Yes. Or me. I want it to work so badly. I just know it won't.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Then the last book, I can't even prepare myself for it.
I don't think I'll ever be able to prepare
Maggie
myself.
has confirmed that Adam and Ronan are getting together on her Tumblr.
Oh my god. I just look everything up to the Raven Boys on Tumblr. Like, it's just the best.
I'm so into it, and I wasn't expecting to be so into the Raven
like
Boys.
All the stuff on Tumblr about those two, it's just it's brilliant. Question 5. Best romance book to movie adaptation.
Best movie adaptation is definitely the 2005 Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden. I just watch that film whenever I'm feeling sad, and I love it so much that I could probably recite it. Like,
I'm slowly making my way through the BBC miniseries.
Yes.
It's
young Colin
bracelet.
Firth.
Yeah. I think for me, it's a bit of a cringy answer, but I really love the adaptation of The Host by Stephanie Meyer.
Oh yes, yeah, that's a good
Mainly
one.
because I have a bit of a thing for Max Irons. But I really loved it. I felt like it was quite faithful to the book.
I read that book so many times as well.
Yeah, I loved
just
it.
like, I just remember her always being like hidden in caves, like hiding, and then attractive handsome men coming and being like, come out of the cave.
I think for the time scale that the book was written in, the film was quite faithful to that.
Yeah.
Question 6. What is the best book to read to your boyfriend/girlfriend?
So I went with something funny because I feel like my romance techniques are generally humour based, like Catherine in The Next Together. So I went for The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams because I think it's just such a great book to read aloud.
I'm gonna go slightly obsessively to The Next Together by Lauren James. I loved it. Like, I feel like it's the kind of book that can be read by both boys and girls, and I liked that kind of like romantic dynamic in it.
You get lots of tips from it, like sending text messages to each other. Yeah,
Exactly.
Good techniques.
So there you go. 8. Best book to read after a breakup.
Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke, which is currently airing on TV. It's the best TV show ever, but the book is kind of that thick, probably that thick, and it's full of footnotes with sort of anecdotes from like the fairy history, and it's full of just lots of details, and I feel like it's the best kind of book to get lost in, and if you want to escape the real world after a breakup, then that would definitely keep you occupied for a very long time, like a month of solid reading.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go something slightly different that's quite empowering, and I'm going to go with Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas.
I haven't read those.
They're so good, you have to read them.
I will.
Because although there's lots of romantic elements in it, they're about so much more than that, and I feel like Selena is just such a role model. They just put me in a really good mood.
I feel like any kind of long series
Yeah.
would be really good, like the Discworld novels, there's like 30, 35, like you just get obsessed with them.
Yeah. Question 9 is, what is your favourite same-sex or queer couple in literature?
So this isn't a YA one again, this is Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. And the main couple in that, Maud and Sue. It's set in the Victorian times, and Sue is kind of like raised by thieves. She's very low working class, and they've always got to struggle for money. And she gets recruited to go and pretend to be maid servant of this girl, this like noble girl, Maud, and to steal from her with the aim of stealing money. And then it kind of gets twisted around, and there's lots of like really amazing plot twists, and then they're like the cutest couple in the end. Yeah, I really like that book.
My answer is Nick and Charlie from Solitaire by Alice Oseman.
Yes.
I think it's just one of those that really stick in my mind, and I think Alice just writes it so well.
And she has so many extras on her Tumblr, which just every time
Yeah.
I read them I'm like,
I
it's
think
so cute!
if you want Tumblr to just look through for hours,
Yeah.
it should be Alice's.
And she does all the art as well, which just
Yeah.
like when they're like
makes me so
snuggling
jealous.
in bed, and yeah, they're a good one.
Final question is, which book would you give to someone as a symbol of your affection?
I would probably choose a kind of really fancy Jane Austen hardback, the kind where they have like embossed covers
Yeah.
and like really nice illustrations. I think that would just be a very romantic gift, and I'd really want to be given one of those, so why wouldn't a boy?
I think for me, it would be a book that meant a lot to me. So for me, I think I'd probably choose Catcher in the Rye by Julie Salinger.
Yeah.
It's just one of those books that loads of people hate, but I love it so much.
Would you go for like a first edition or one of the really new ones?
I really like the one with the carousel on the front. That's my favourite cover.
Yeah.
I have a poster of it, but I haven't put it up yet. But I just love that cover so much, and I think it means a lot to me. I read it when I was younger, and it just kind of stayed with me, and I could really identify with it. So that was our Book Heart tag. Thank you so much to Lauren
You're
for
welcome.
being a part
That
of
was
it.
really fun.
Happy reading.
Bye!